The second oldest football rivalry in the state of Tennessee took place this past weekend, and the Tusculum Pioneers and the Carson-Newman Eagles met for the 50th time. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Stayton, joined by Pioneer coach Jerry Odom. Trey Simmons, who had a rough outing against Mars Hill, bounced back in a big way as he accounted for almost 400 yards of total offense, 4 touchdowns he accounted for, as he threw for a career-best 362 yards in the win against the Carson-Newman Eagles. The 35 points difference is the most in the modern era and the most since that famed 1919 game in which the Pioneers won 103-0. Pioneers held the Carson-Newman Eagles under 100 yards rushing and held the conference's Offensive Player of the Week, Troy Dendy, who ran for 262 the week prior, to just 6 yards this past week as well. The Pioneers get the victory against the Carson-Newman Eagles 48-13, joined by Pioneer coach Jerry Odom. And again, in the second oldest football rivalry, you know, the one rivalry, you come in and you're doing the interview and you're basically saying, well, we got Carson-Newman, we're going to beat Carson-Newman, we're going to do some things and put the rival in the rivalry here in this one. You've won 3 straight here at Pioneer Field, and that's the first time in the modern era. It's the first time in a long time. Your team plays very well, seem to be very up for this game.
I think they had a really good week of practice. We really tried, we did some different things in practice. We kind of broke it up in half where it was really a necessity almost because we're so beat up. Yeah. But we did, like, the defense would go out and practice for an hour versus the scout team, and then we would bring everybody together for special teams, and the offense would do it, and the defense would go in and watch tape. So we didn't practice them long, maybe an hour and 20 minutes, per group. Yeah. But I thought at this point in time in the season, it was more about getting solid fundamental reps from the scout team and a really, really good look, more than it was being physical and nasty and tough in practice. Because if you're not going to do that in week 11, when are you going to do it, right? So I think that was one of the things that we talked about as a staff, and I think it really helped us because we got more out of our guys during the week of practice, even though we did lose one in a backpedal drill. But for the most part, I think they were really focused on the task at hand. Now, we still gave up a silly touchdown late when we didn't scrape over the top for the quarterback on an option. But I think for the most part, on both sides of the football, we played solid. It
was good, especially offensively for Trey Simmons. Good for him to have that bounce-back game.
Well, and I think, Trey's a really good football player. For a freshman, he does a lot of good things. He's athletic. He goes through his progressions. Was better at not throwing the ball high. Only had 1 or 2 throwing the ball high where he's got to finish the throwing motion. But Trey's a great kid. He's going to be a great player here. He's a guy that we feel like has got a big future ahead of him. But then we were able to run the football and take a little bit of pressure off him. And it wasn't like we just ran it 80 million times. We did what we do. But Courtney being able to run the ball some, Gamillion getting 1,000 yards, that was great for him. And then Trey himself being able to run the football really kind of takes the pressure off of just dropping back and trying to throw the ball 50, 60 times.
And field position helped because the Pioneers did that much of the day with the turnovers. Pioneers recovered 4 fumbles. TU, Turnover University. We haven't had a lot of those turnovers. Carson has been putting it on the ground quite a bit this year, and you were able to take advantage.
Yeah, did a really good job. Witchard hits the quarterback a couple different times, gets the ball, out. I think Billy Weekley made a really nice play where he put his helmet right on the football. On a kick play or a zone play by Dendy, I believe. Yep. And then I forgot what the 4th one was, but really a nice job of getting turnovers and then playing good field position, like catching the football. I think Derek Wright did a really nice job catching the football. So we got hidden yardage where our net punt, was better than their net punt. And that's where you win games, especially rivalry games, is when you can play downhill. We played from the 40 and downhill as opposed to coming out from the 10, 15, 20 of our own, yard line coming out, where it feels like you're playing more uphill and the drive's got to be longer.
Pioneers get the victory against Carson-Newman. We flash back. We take a look back at this contest, and we're going to start in this game after the Pioneers have taken the ball 3 and out. You forced a 3 and out, so you come out offensively, and Maurice Gamillion really, and your running game really establishes a tone early.
Yeah, I got a little counter play here. Maurice is able to get through here for about a 10, 15-yard gain. Really nice run, well blocked at the point of attack. Bryce Moore makes a nice block, coming around the corner, then get a nice drop back, throw it across the middle to Parham. You can't really see it from the end zone. You can see how good a throw this really is because he really sticks in a tight window. The linebacker done a pretty good job dropping. Come back, throw the RPO to Derek. I thought he was going to, if he broke the tackle, it would have been a touchdown, but it's a great decision to pull it because they had really pulled 8 into the box right there, 9 in the box. And we were able to get a 3-by-1 and throw it to Derek. And then right here we come run a little split zone and we're able to get Maurice in, I believe, or maybe it is Maurice in for the first touchdown of the game.
10 plays, 75 yards, 4:14 off the clock. The Pioneers implementing a special teams ploy. You don't want to give Leonte Dudley a chance to return it, and you didn't, and you did a nice job. And here, fortune smiles on the Pioneers. Get somewhat of an onside kick.
Yeah, well, we were trying to squib it. We were pooching it. We were trying to do a little bit, and we squibbed that one and kicked it right at a guy, and we were able to get that. And then we come in first, a couple series, and Courtney gets a nice run there for a first down, I believe, on the zone. Really well blocked up there by Mahoney and the boys. But then comes back, and I think they got a 4th down right here, and we kind of bogged down, and we went for it, and they get a sack, and so they kind of stopped our momentum a little bit right there.
But your defense picks up. We're going to pick up a couple of series here with your defense against what they're doing offensively, and just did not, behind the line of scrimmage, I believe Dom Donnelly threw out a stat. He had 25 kids that had a tackle behind the line of scrimmage for the entire season. And basically this next 3 or 4 plays you're going to see is a lot of pressure and a lot of penetration.
Yeah, we try to show them a bunch of different fronts. They're young on the offensive line, and we felt like that was really, really important to show them different looks, different fronts, and really try to get after them. Right here, this was a 3rd down play that we trapped them. We were in a cover 2 blitz. I thought they were going to throw the curl on the backside. That's what he was looking for, and we had it bracketed pretty good. He has to kind of got a coverage sack right there. On that. We didn't really rush the guy quite as well as he liked to there. Really good play by the 2 linebackers right here. We were supposed to feather that. Witcher went a little fast, but I think Ernest made a really good tackle, and Craig was over the top, so really, really happy there. Great job by Witherspoon here, picking up number 3 off the when he went out. Nice job by Ernest holding off the inside RPO. And, they were throwing slant bubble right there, so we were able to get a stop there, and then again try to get after them, and then we get.
How about that?
Yeah,
that
was a little bit incredible. He dropped the snap and then kicked it off the ground. Now I know it was illegal touching, but that obviously helps. And again, you're playing downhill.
But they were able to kick the ball away. It is a penalty, so you gain some field position still. And you take over, and Courtney and Maurice really ran the ball.
Yeah,
hard.
Courtney running really hard here. Ran over the linebacker, got a good push right there. Getting into the second quarter, I believe this is 2nd down right here. They blitz. Really nice hot throw right now to Tyler Burke for about a 7 or 8 yard gain to keep us out of bad field position. And then we got 3rd down, and we felt like if we got Bryce matched up on this linebacker, that was a shot we wanted to take. Bryce can really run. He's really going to end up being a very, very good tight end here.
Yeah, and he's gutting it out too.
Yeah.
And he had to come out of the game a couple of times with that shoulder, but that's a 21-yarder. Pioneers lead 14-0. That's a 6-play, 41-yard drive for Tusculum. And again, your defense continued to put LaMarcus Brown under pressure much of the afternoon.
Yeah, we felt like that with Witchard coming off the edge, and really you can see it right here. He gets a strip. We had a little inside stunt game going, and he gets one, and I think Craig gets on the ball there, but really the 2 senior day guys, Witchard and McIntyre, did a heck of a job coming off the edge all day.
Yeah, Ryan was fantastic, and those 2 guys lived in the backfield. They combined for, I believe it was 7 hits behind the line of scrimmage and 5 sacks in the contest as they combined for that. And each come up with 5 tackles. You start this next drive, you look for Justice Parham, who has been fantastic and electric all season, top 4 receiver in our South Atlantic Conference. You look for Bryce Moore again, and again, continue to move the chains.
Yeah, kept getting them off sides. Great hard count there. Really nice job by Trey getting them off sides, and then putting the ball out there. We got a penalty right here off of a scramble that would have been a touchdown, but then we were able to get it out to Maurice. And then we come up with a big package. I think it's Darian Anderson, put him in at quarterback just to take one less hit off of Trey and those guys, and he walks in for the touchdown.
And Darian gets into the end zone, his first rushing touchdown. The Pioneers go up 21-0 on Carson-Newman. We're in unprecedented territory here in this rivalry. 12 plays, 54 yards, 445. off of the clock, and the Pioneers were not done. Carson-Newman would score on their very next series. They would take advantage of a penalty, and I think that gave them a little momentum. They would score. So it's 21-7 when the Pioneers take over here, and this is the last drive of the first half, and boy, this was very efficient.
It was. It hit Will Sweeper for about a 20-yard gain. Really nice job by Trey going through progression, went left all the way back to the right, found Will open on the curl, comes back here, throws a nice slant right here to Derek Wright on a little hot throw for about a 10-11 yard gain. Gets 2nd and 6 after we throw a check down, I believe, right here, or 2nd and 4. Come back, throw the ball again on the outcut right here to Parham for a first down. Now we're down to about the 35, and we get it down to the 29 with no time, and we just missed the field goal. He kind of pushed it. He didn't get through, get his hips all the way through.
But well struck as far as, the distance. It would have been his career long for John Aiden Pittman. Again, just a little bit not accurate. So you start the second half with the football. You would fail on 4th down, and Carson would have it, but they would cough it right back up.
Yeah, end up, like I said, getting a first a hit right there. I think it's Raynell Killian on a blitz. We didn't really execute it very well. Richard was supposed to be underneath that, but Raynell did execute it well. Then we come back, and nice job by Trey finding his check down here. I think Courtney gets about a 20-yard gain here, gets a nice block by Bryce, getting us down there. And then now we're 2nd and 4 right here. And they come with one of their mini blitzes, and we end up throwing, actually this is 3rd and 4, and I think this is the fudge for a first down for about 8 or 9 yards down there, and then we're able to get a little zone read, and Trey really did a nice job staying in bounds and getting the ball over the pylon right there. When he pulled it, I was like, ooh, I don't know, and then he outran the guy, so that was a heck of a play.
6 plays, 43 yards, take advantage of yet another fumble by the Eagles, and the Pioneers missed the point. 27-7 would take that lead. And you get the ball back here, you have a free play, and you take a shot.
Yeah, get him off sides again. Great throw to Derek Wright. That was a dime right there that Trey threw. Really good throw and catch. That really kind of puts us up 34-13 or 34-7 at the time, and now we're rolling a little bit.
Derek Wright, 150 yards receiving on the day for him, a couple of touchdowns. Play, 54 yards there. On the very next play offensively, again, you're not kicking it to Leonte Dudley, and the conference player of the week offensively gets hit by Weekly, fumbles the ball.
Yeah, Billy Weekly, great job falling back in late, puts his helmet right on the football, and I think Craig Watts gets his 2nd fumble recovery of the day.
Pioneers unable to score there, but we move to the 4th quarter, and again, more pressure, and again, LaMarcus Brown forced by this Pioneer team. And I didn't realize it was a fumble right away. I saw the beanbag go down, but I didn't realize they called it a fumble, but it was 4th down.
It was 4th down anyway. Witcher did a great job on the sprint out. It's hard to outrun Witcher, getting on the edge. 10-3, get after you pretty quick coming out there, and he was able to create the fumble. And then really nice job here stepping up. Probably should have thrown the dig, truth of the matter. It was a little more open, but he took a shot downfield on 3rd down to Derek. Ball pops up in the air, take a one-on-one shot. Sometimes you're going to do those. Derek makes a heck of a play. And we get in for, a 55-yard throw right there?
65, because you had the penalty that knocked you backwards for that. Derek finished with 2, maybe could have had 3 on the afternoon. Either way, another banner day for Derek Wright in this receiving core, and for Trey Simmons, throws for 362. And then Tyler Burke goes to the football field.
Yeah, we block about one guy on this whole play. I think our Jackson Boone did a really nice job blocking one. Then the kicker has no chance on Tyler, and Tyler made 2 or 3 guys miss. And then once he gets out in the open, he's not big, but he's electric. And love, like I told you last week, love that kid, love the way he plays, how hard he plays, how much he cares about the game.
Pioneers, again, in this game, just the numbers staggering. 27 first downs. They had Carson-Newman had just 10. The Pioneers were great on 3rd downs, 9 of 16, 56%. Carson-Newman is a team, typically, they're very good on 3rd downs because usually they're just a run-oriented style of a team, and they're facing 3rd down and short. Lots of times they were just 4 of 13 on 3rd downs. You can just tell a lot about the game just based on 3rd down conversions and first downs gained, but outside of just the yards. 516 yards of offense for the Pioneers, and they only allowed 166 despite everything that happened for a Pioneer team pre-season, a lot of the departures, the coaching staff, and a lot of the players that we really thought we would have back after the spring, it was kind of a mix and match defense. And yet here you are, you're only allowing under 300 yards of offense for the season, where it looks like it's all awful. But man, what a great way to build and go forward for this future.
Yeah, I mean, we played a lot of young guys, and then some older guys that had to step in that played different positions than they played back in the spring. It was a challenge, to say the least, to get a lot of these guys ready. But I thought, for the most part, like I've said all year, they have handled it about as good as they can. They played extremely hard, and it's a situation where life's going to throw you curveballs sometimes, right? And we got a big one thrown at us, and how are you going to handle those situations? And it was unfortunate that we lost 3 or 4 extremely close games that we could have pulled out and found a way to win, but we didn't. But like I said, I love the way this team competed. I love the way their never say die attitude. Even when we didn't play well in the first half, we'd come back and battle back and put ourselves back in the game in certain games. I can honestly say that aspect of this team is one of the best I've ever been around, because I've been around some teams that when things go bad, they just fold their tent, right? This group never did. And when things went bad, they just kept working. And, you're going to have certain guys that aren't going to play as well as other guys. But as a group, for the most part, I think they did a really, really nice job of that. And I thank them, and I thank my young coaching staff for doing the best they could all year to try to keep this thing going and give us a chance to win every game.
Some of the numbers in this game, just to finish it up. Trey Simmons, 22 of 35, 362 for 3 touchdowns. He rushed for a couple. Maurice Gamillion, 17 carries, 47 yards. And that's important because he becomes the 13th player in school history to go over 1,000 yards rushing for a career. He did walk for the Pioneers as well. Courtney Jackson, 9 carries, 36 yards. Derek Wright, 6 catches, 150 yards. Justice Parham, 4 catches, 52 yards as well. And again, one of the best wide receivers in the South Atlantic Conference this season, will finish in the top 4 in receiving. Defensively, Ryan McIntyre talked about it. 6 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, a fumble recovery. Richard Gerville, 5 tackles, 2 sacks, and 3 for loss, and he forced 2 fumbles on a day. And Ernest Johnson, the third, finishing with 2 tackles for loss. 12 tackles for loss total on an afternoon against a Carson-Newman team that, again, typically just does not give up hits behind the line of scrimmage. The Pioneers played exceptional. Now, we get to this point at 5-6 on the year overall, but the guys that really got us to this point that didn't finish out the season, Ivan Corbin comes to mind. Here's a guy that competed and gave you a chance, hadn't played quarterback in a while, comes in and had a great first day, or even his second game against Shawan was solid. We just couldn't generate enough. We weren't consistent enough. But here's a guy that continued to progress. And it was really unfortunate. He took just an injury late in the season.
Yeah, he got hurt, and then just that foot's, he's had problems with it obviously before, and just didn't feel like he was at 100%, and that was one of the reasons why we went with Trey and moving forward. But Ivan gave us everything he had. There's no doubt about it.
Unheralded group was that offensive line. I thought in the spring they got a lot better. And you're anchored by Thomas Mahoney at center, and then Andrew Theobald there at tackle, and just guys. I felt like that group probably, we've talked a lot about them this year, but I just don't realize when I go back and look at a lot of the film just how really sound they were.
Yeah, I think they played hard. I think Coach Desire, Coach Rosinski, those guys did a really good job taking over a group that has had 3 coaches in 3 years, and loved the guy that left, and I think they did a really, really, really good job with that group and getting the most out of them, and then mix and matching and putting guys together. I think Ben Schellenbach made a huge jump. I think he's gotten a whole heck of a lot better, and guys just gutted stuff out. We've got Rick Jean-Atone was hurt just about the whole year and just kept trying to find different ways to play. I think he only missed 1 or 2 games, and literally he's had injury after injury after injury. But so shout out to those guys and their toughness, and then the way they got coached.
And your secondary, again, another huge look. Jordan Taylor, Taylor Island, whatever you want to call him. That young man really developed. Tycorian Brown was already going to be very good. So two very young corners, a secondary, and when John Smith was injured late in the season, but really took over, played a lot of guys back there, and Jermaine Witherspoon, Raynell Killian. A secondary that was the best in pass defense in the conference.
Yeah, we feel like, they're a good group. We do a lot back there, so I'm on them all the time about every little thing. They'll tell you, from talking on the field to making sure that they know exactly what check we want to be in and everything else. But they're a hardworking group and they're talented. And a guy like Jordan Taylor's got, he's got a tremendous future ahead of him. Love that kid. Love the way he comes to work every day. Kind of quiet, just goes about his business. Spoon, steady Eddie, you know what you're getting out of him. He's going to play really well. Tycorian, it played well. I mean, really all those guys had a good year. Raynell is kind of the elder statesman back there. He'll be a senior next year. But yeah, it's a good group of guys, and the positive thing is all of them are back, and hopefully we'll get Montrell Henry back too. Played great for us in the spring, but then had a knee injury, and he missed the season.
And then finally, the AstroTurf South Atlantic Conference Players of the Week after the Carson-Newman game, as we kind of recap this whole season in one shebang. We didn't have anybody, but we had numbers that would have qualified for that had we probably won those close games. It just, we didn't get some of those wins. But Trey Simmons was your Offensive Player of the Week. You had Richard Gerville, who was your Defensive Player of the Week, and Tyler Burke, who was the Special Teams Player of the Week. There's a lot of guys that, we've talked about. And for Richard, an All-American track guy, you're kind of hoping he's probably thinking, well, will I come back? Can I? He's got that opportunity. Trey, a young freshman, and Tyler, a young freshman. We got some young guys that are making some big impacts.
Yeah, we did. We had some talented young players. I think Day White played very, very well for us. That was a freshman. There's a lot of these young freshmen that are good football players, and other younger guys. And it'll just depend with Richard on what he really wants to do. Obviously, if he wants to play, I'd love to have him back, but that's really got to be what's in his heart, and got to work that out. But I'm super proud of that young man. He hadn't played in 3 years, and he came back out and was way behind. Like I wish he had never quit, because there ain't no telling how good he'd have been. But I understand it. I have no problem with it, and I'm really happy for him that he came back out and got to experience like a great senior day. I mean, what's a great senior day? Where you get to be the conference player of the year, of the week. You get a big win over your rival. Then you cause fumbles and get sacks. I mean, him and Ryan McIntyre, what a great way to go out if that is their last game.
A Pioneer football team that does end the year. The awards will come out later. I know we've got a lot of guys that are very well deserving. Obviously, that does come out much later, probably later in this week as well. You can always find out what our Pioneer athletes, what they're doing going forward as well through the website, through TusculumPioneers.com. It's sad that it's over. I know for you, maybe just needed a little bit of a break. There's really no rest for the weary for you. No. However, it's back out on the road and doing a lot of things and getting there. The next time we'll probably talk with him. I feel like we're going to have some separation anxiety, here over the next couple of weeks. We just see him all the time.
Okay.
We will talk. We will talk about some recruits the next time we do get together, whatever it may be. I go to the basketball side of things, and then those coaches, we'll have that separation anxiety, by the end of that March and April. We'll have that. Those guys, they won't see me. Of course, JT will be like, "Hey, teach me how to swing a golf club," and I'll try my best to do that for him.
You can't teach me. I don't want to learn.
He does this. He does a little fishing. He does a little fishing. So he's good to go. But Coach, again, a year that's been so trying. You have coached me. He does that all the time, and he coaches his coaches, and he's coaching his players as well, and doing a lot of things behind the scenes that a lot of folks don't understand. Appreciate you and what you give to me every single day I ask.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you, Dom, everybody here has been a joy to work with when it comes to this kind of stuff. I couldn't ask for a better group to put up with me, my one-take Jake, thought process on everything. But no, I appreciate everything you guys do, and thank you so much for it.
Because I'm difficult. I'm that guy. Hey,
I
it's
don't
been a
know.
great football season. Every game was a competitive contest, and it felt like we were going to win every single game. Didn't work out for us this particular year, but we've got the future to look forward to as well. For everybody behind the scenes here at the Pioneer Sports Network, Dom Donnelly, Jim Miller, Jessica Biggers. He's the man. He's Jerry Odom. I'm Brian Stayton. Until next time, go Pioneers.